is something that we have covered in the past. It is a 1975 Jefferson nickel that sold for over $1,000. Now, why would a circulated 1975 nickel sell for this price? Because it has something very, very interesting. If we look at the date 1975 and you see the D mint mark there to the left of the date, that D mint mark stands for the Denver Mint, meaning that this coin was minted at the Denver Mint. However, this D mint mark is misplaced. It's not supposed to be that high up next to the 5. Here's what a regular 1975 D mint mark is supposed to look like and what most of them do look like. Now, if we go back to this image, the mint mark is misplaced. It's high. It's up by that 5. So that will give the coin, obviously, a lot of value. The coin sold for over $1,000 in pretty horrible condition here, graded at an XF40. So such a simple error to look for when you guys are going through coin rolls from the bank. If you guys search for nickels like this, finding one like this, obviously, probably a needle in a haystack, but, obviously, this thing has been spent for years and years, and someone came across it and got it graded and sold it for some good money. All right, this next coin here is a 1970 quarter that sold for $65 in horrible condition. Now, this quarter only weighs 4.3 grams. Typically, quarters weigh about 5.67 grams. So why is this quarter weighing so low? Well, it was actually struck on a 10-cent thickness stock. So what in the world does that mean? Well, basically, if you guys are familiar with blank planchets, the planchet is, there's a sheet of metal that gets all the circles cut out, and that's the planchet. And then the planchet gets struck with the die that has the design on it in order to create the coin. Well, in 1970 at the Denver Mint, when making these quarters, a coil that was intended for the Roosevelt dimes was inserted into the blanking press, which is obviously much thinner than, a quarter stock. So dime stock is obviously thinner. If you look at a dime, it's thinner than a Washington quarter, right? So that mistake was not really discovered, and basically they think around 100,000 of these reached circulation. So always weigh your quarters from 1970 and even in the 60s, of course, because you could have an error like this that can give the coin some value. $65 in pretty bad condition there. Now, this next coin, even in worse condition, and it's a 1966 Washington quarter that has the same type of error. It was struck on a dime stock. So this took place in 1966 as well, at least for some quarters, this one here in particular. And this coin sold for around $70 at auction in horrible condition. So if your quarter is really thinner than, an average quarter, it only weighs around, 4.3 grams, you might want to inspect it closely and consider having the coin graded. This next coin here is it looks like a steel penny, right? Steel cent. This wheat penny here is actually not from 1943 when they made wheat pennies. This penny is from 1945. So we have the Lincoln wheat cent design here that was actually struck onto a foreign planchet. So that is what gives the coin value, and that's why the coin sold for over $1,700. So, when you're buying coin collections or you inherit a coin collection and you come across a bunch of steel pennies, there are different errors you can look for on those, but make sure it's not a 1945 that looks like a steel penny, because this could easily blend in with those. And if you guys want to look at how much the steel pennies are worth, just type in 1943 penny couch collectibles and you'll find those videos. This next coin here is a 1945 silver Jefferson nickel. That's right, from 1942 to 1945, they made 35% silver nickels because they needed nickel for the war. So they made nickels from 1942 to 1945, 35% silver. Now, how do you tell if it's silver? Well, it has that mark there above the building on the reverse. That's the easiest way to tell. Now, this coin also has a mint error. It has a laminated planchet. So you can look for laminations on all kinds of different coins, not just, silver nickels. This coin ended up selling for $44 in not so great condition. VF20 grade there. The coin grading scale, of course, goes up to 70. So to have it out of 20, a little lower on the coin grading scale?